It's the dictionary. It's the dictionary. It's the dictionary. It's the dictionary. Dictionary. It's the dictionary. It's the dictionary.
Hello, word nerds, and welcome to the dictionary, hosted by me, Spencer. This is episode F117, and if you watch the video, you can see I changed my face in my head. I shaved the face. I got a haircut, and oh, it feels so fresh and so clean. But it's so cold. It's 13 degrees out there this morning when I left the house. How did it get so cold? But yeah, it feels so good to not be so hairy and not have those little hairs poking me all up in the face and distracting me and itching me, and I didn't like it. Is this the right way to have my hair? I don't know. It's just something. Hey, let's talk about the words. The first word in this episode is flaneur, or just flaneur, I guess. Flaneur. You can also spell it, the A has that little hat icon accent. It's the Cuban, I don't remember what that one's called. I call it the carrot hat. Oh, okay, flaneur. Flaneur is a noun from 1854. This is an idle man about town. I guess man about town is supposed to be one term. An idle man about town. A man about town. So, the man about town. Who's the man about town? What's the man about town doing? They're going and hanging out at places. They're meeting people. Do they have an agenda? Do they have a job? What do they do? They're just a man about town who's maybe they're going on lots of dates. Maybe they just know all the people at the restaurants and the bars and the stores, the cafes, and but they're in this case, the flaneur, they're idle. They're just hanging out, not knowing what to do. Their engine is running. Yeah, this is an interesting one. It's French. That's all I can tell you. I guess maybe flaneur in French means an idle man about town. Possibly. That one's interesting. All right, let's make a sound effect. We'll go... Oh, what are we going to do? Let's see. I have a couple ideas. Maybe we can do that. So we'll go... because it's a fun sound to make. Now we have the first form of the word flange. Flange, F-L-A-N-G-E. Noun from circa 1735. Number 1 is a rib or rim for strength, for guiding, or for attachment to another object, as in a flange on a pipe, also as in a flange on a wheel. So I think the flange on the pipe is where the pipe is one shape, one size all the way down, and then at the end it flanges out to become a little bit wider. If it was this wide before, now it's this wide. That means another pipe of the same width can pop inside of that flange. I think that's what it is. Yeah, because it's about attaching to another object. Flange on a wheel, that one I'm not sure about. I don't know my wheels. Is this a car wheel? I don't know. Number 2, a projecting edge of cloth used for decoration on clothing, as in a jacket with flange shoulders. So these are, it sticks out to make you look like you got big old shoulders when really your shoulders are this small. It makes your shoulders look like they're this big. I once had shoulders this big. Okay. That's it. Just those couple of definitions, but we do have etymology. This is perhaps an alternative of flanch with a CH, but now we didn't have that one, did we? That means a curving charge on a heraldic shield. So I guess because I don't know how it became flange from that. Who knows? It's just perhaps it's from flange. Now we have the second form of flange. This one is the verb from circa 1859. It's transitive. It is to furnish with a flange. So if you want to make a pipe, have a flange. You gotta flange the pipe. If it's a metal pipe, you can probably heat it up, put it in a furnace or something, and then stretch out that one part using tools, not your hands, tools. But also, if you don't have the proper equipment or the skills, especially the skills, don't try this at home. Don't try to flange your metal pipes. But maybe if you have the sewing skills, maybe you can flange your jacket with some flange shoulders. Flange shoulders. Now we have the word flank. F-L-A-N-K. First form, noun, from before the 12th century. Number 1A, the fleshy part of the side between the ribs and the hip, but broadly, the side of a quadruped. The quadruped, the thing that is walking around on 4 legs, 4 feet, the side of it, just that whole side. So it's between the ribs over here and the hip down here. That you can't see where I'm pointing because the video doesn't go down that low, but you can sort of see it's so fleshy and meaty and muscly, and I am not eating the flank of anything. 1B is a cut of meat from this part of an animal, and it says to see the beef illustration, which is a cow. I mean, yes, the beef comes from the cow, but I believe that if I remember correctly, the beef illustration was, okay, it's not, yeah, it's not a picture of a cow. It is the leftover remains of what was the cow, hanging from a ceiling. All right, let's not talk about that anymore. Number 2A, the synonym is side. That's it. Maybe you want to talk about the flank of a car. The doors on a car are on the flank of a car. 2B, the right or left of a formation. This could be a military formation, all of the military people getting all up in their lines in the rows, or maybe their formation to go attack the enemy. There's a right flank going around that side to try and do a sneak attack, and then there's the left flank going around on that side. And then also marching band, they get into their formation, so they also have flanks. 3. The area along either side of a heraldic shield. Left flank, the right flank. That's what this word is. Now, does the etymology say something about side? Let's see. It is from Middle English, Old French, flank, of Germanic origin, akin to the Old High German hlanka, which means loin or flank. And there's more at the word lank. Oh, interesting. L-A-N-K. I think of like lanky, tall, and skinny, but maybe there's some other definition about lank. I'm not sure. Okay. So flank means flank. The second form of flank is a verb from 1594. I believe it is just transitive. Number 1A, to be situated at the side of, especially, to be situated on both sides of. How can you be situated on both sides of a thing? You can't be in 2 places at once. Unless you can. The example is a road flanked with linden trees. Linden trees. So it's the trees. There's a whole bunch of trees. They're flanking the road, both sides. If you want to go see some linden trees, go down Linden Street. 1B, to place something on each side of. Maybe you have one of those very cool clawfoot tubs and you want to take a romantic bath by yourself with some wine. Maybe you will flank the bathtub with candles on both sides. Maybe just one candle on both sides. Let's be safe. Number 2, to protect a flank of. Get my flank. We're going to attack the enemy. Please, protect my side. You protect my right flank. You protect my left flank. And nobody's gonna protect your flanks. You got to protect my flank because I'm the most important one here in this situation. Number 3, to attack or threaten the flank of, as in a body of troops. So this is happening on the other side. You can protect somebody's flank or a group's flank, or you can attack somebody's flank. You're coming at their flank. You're coming at their side. Either one is great. I don't think it's great. I don't love the idea of attacking and murdering and injuring. Now we have flunkin'. I think that's how you say it. Flunkin'. Noun from 1950. This is beef flank cooked especially by boiling. And let's just double check the pronunciation real quick. Make sure that that is the proper way to say the vowel. Ah, yes. Flanken. This is a Yiddish word. It's the plural of flank or flank, which literally is flank or flank. Ultimately, from Old French flank, we already saw that. So it's the plural. It's the plural. So are you putting a lot of beef in this boil? What happens when you boil beef? I don't cook meat. There's so many different ways. So yeah, I don't know. I guess the Yiddish people, the Jewish people, the people speaking Yiddish, Hebrew, probably. I mean, there's other people probably too who are boiling beef flank, and then they call it flanken. I don't think I've ever eaten flanken. Next, we have flanker. Flanker. Noun from 1940. This is a football player stationed wide for the formation, slightly behind the line of scrimmage, as a pass receiver. It is called also flanker back, because there's those roles in American football that's a something back, something back, something back. And so they are on the side, and probably in the back part, there's the front group that's going to stop the front group from the other people. And then there's the back line, the second line, and this one's on the side. So they're going to go run way out there and go like, hey, throw me the ball. I want to catch it because I'm the flanker and I'm on the side. That's what they say. Now we have flanker steak. 2 words. You can probably guess what this is. Noun from 1902. A pear-shaped muscle of the beef flank. Also, a steak cut from this muscle. And then, of course, it says to see the beef illustration again. So do you call the muscle itself is the flank steak? Do humans have a flank steak? Is the cow muscle called flank steak, or does it become the steak after it's been cut off and you cook it? I guess, I don't know. Either way, that's what it says. It's both. It's the muscle of the beef flank. I guess, yeah, our steaks are pear-shaped? I don't know. I guess I would have said either heart or T or something. I don't know. But yes, and then it becomes a steak. The word steak is interesting because it's, I guess, the muscle and the thing that you eat. So curious about more definitions for that word. Now we have flannel. Noun from 1503. 1A is a soft twilled wool or worsted fabric with a loose texture and a slightly napped surface. And of course, if you know your fabrics, you know what all of those words mean. And I don't. Some interesting adjectives. Twilled, worsted, and napped. They're all very specific to fabrics and the ways that you can change the fabrics, make the fabrics, do different things to them. Yeah, you can twill wood. You can make a fabric worsted, and the surface is napped. Ooh, I want to take a nap on a napped surface. All right, so that's the first one for a flannel. I guess it seems like it's pretty wide-ranging. Number 1B is a napped custom fabric of soft yarns simulating the texture of wood flannel. Wool. That makes more sense. Wool flannel. So I guess the first one was the wool flannel, and this one is a cotton fabric made to look like the wool flannel. 1C, a stout cotton fabric usually napped on one side. Just one. We don't need it. Maybe you could say it's napped on one flank, but the other flank doesn't get to be napped. Number 2, all of 2 is plural, flannels. So 2A is flannel underwear. Ooh, it's so cold. I gotta wear my flannels. I gotta put my flannels on underneath all my clothes so my underpieces can be warmed by some wool or cotton. 2B, outer garments of flannel, especially men's trousers. Okay, I guess men's trousers are just called, specific kind of flannel, a specific kind of trousers made out of flannel. They call them the flannels. Oh, this is such a fun word to say. Flannel. Why is it so satisfying? I also usually just think of like a flannel shirt, flannel button shirt, jackety kind of thing. I don't know. I think I have one of them. Now we have number 3. This is British. The synonym is washcloth. So the British people call a washcloth a flannel. Is it made out of flannel? Is it a good type of material to be washing your stuff with? I'm not sure. Number 4 is also British. It is flattering or evasive talk. Also, the synonyms are nonsense and rubbish. Oh, you're just talking flannel. That's when you're telling me how great my podcast is, that's just flannel. It's flattering. Must be a relationship to the word flattering and flannel. And it's evasive talk. So like, oh, well, I don't want to talk about myself, so I'm going to say some flannel. I'm going to talk about you. I'm going to talk about how great you are, but I'm going to evade talking about myself. Is that an example of flannel? British people? I mean, nonsense and rubbish. Maybe you're lying. Maybe you're making stuff up. You're talking flannel. How did this become a term in British English? Flannel is also an adjective. Flannelly is an adjective as well. I guess that one makes sense with the talk, the nonsense, the rubbish talk. Oh, you're talking flannelly. But can you do something flannelly in relation to the fabric or the washcloth? Washing your counters flannelly? All right, we got to look at the etymology. It is from, Middle English word, flanneul. Don't know how they pronounce that. F-L-A-U-N-N-E-O-L. That means woolen cloth or garment. So it really just seems like this word flannel comes from wool specifically. Yeah. Is it just me, or do you automatically think of flannel as having that sort of plaid-y pattern? I can't think of what the proper term of it is. You know, the different colors, and they're christening and they're crossing and they're making other colors and stuff. Is that? I always think of that as flannel, I think. Okay, what do we got next? We got the word flannelette. So it's the word flannel, and we've added E-T-T-E at the end. It is a noun from circa 1882, and it is a lightweight cotton flannel. So it's not literally small, but it's lighter, maybe can breathe easier. Maybe if you don't want to be so warm, but you want to be a little warm, you can get a flannelette. Now we have flannel-mouthed. Is this going to be related to nonsense and rubbish? Flattering talk? Flannel-mouthed is one word. It is an adjective from 1853. Number 1, speaking in a tricky or ingratiating way. Ooh, yeah, this is similar to what we saw before. Ingratiating makes me think of a little bit like flattering, but you're being tricky. So yeah, maybe you're trying to get something out of them, talk them up. Yeah, maybe that's kind of what it is. Number 2 is speaking indistinctly. So maybe you're talking so fast, you're speaking some gibberish. People can't understand what you're saying, so you're just like, blah, 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 I'm just talking so fast. You're flannel-mouthed because you got flannel wool coming out of your mouth. I don't know. Yeah, seems related to the British one. It doesn't say British, though, so I don't know. All right, we have gotten to the last word today, which is the word flap. F-L-A-P. First form, noun from the 14th century. We got a number of definitions. We go on to the next page. Number 1, for flap. A stroke with something broad. A stroke with something broad. The synonym is slap. You know what a slap is, I think. So a stroke just means a movement of something, probably hitting something else, with something broad. So it's not something small and skinny. It's something more big and wide. Maybe your hand. Maybe a paddle. Something. It's a flap. Okay, number 2 is obsolete. Something broad and flat used for striking. So it's obsolete. So this is specifically being used for striking. Oh, let me just get my flap. This is the thing I use to hit people. I just happen to have this flap in my pocket because I'm hitting people so often. I must always have it on me because you never know when you need to flap somebody with a flap. Number 3 is something that is broad, limber, or flat, and usually thin, and that hangs loose or projects freely. As we have examples of what this is, all of those things. Let's reread. It's broad, limber. Ooh, it's very maybe flexible. It's flat, usually thin, and hangs loose. Hang loose, man. Hang loose, flap. It's with a P. And it projects freely. So, 3A. A piece on a garment that hangs free. Oh, don't you love it when you're wearing clothes with flaps? Number 3B. A part of a book jacket that folds under the book's cover. The front flap, the back flap. I took the cover off of this book, so I can't show you. But yes, there's that skinny cover that goes around the books. Many books, maybe many hardcover books, and then the one part just flaps right in on the other side of the cover. 3C. A piece of tissue partly severed from its place of origin for use in surgical grafting. Piece of partly severed from its place. So when you got a burn, maybe they need to take a piece of your skin from another part of your body to replace it over the burn, so you have some slightly normal skin over there. But then what happens to the part where they took the skin from, the skin flap? Will it grow normal skin? Are you going to have a scar there, but it's not as bad as a burn scar? Ooh, I don't want to think about this. 3D. An extended part forming the closure. The closure? What kind of closure? As of an envelope or carton. Yes, the envelopes, they have a flap. You gotta open the flap, put your card in, put your letter in, make sure it's folded in thirds so it fits nicely in your envelope, and then you close the flap. You lick the glue on the flap, and then you close it and seal it. Because, yes, it must be sealed. In its extended part forming the closure, it creates the closure when you unextend it. The fan or the vent is making some weird sounds. Sounds like there's a turkey in there. Number 4, the motion of something broad and limber as a sail or wing. Those are examples that are broad and limber, like the birds flapping their wings when they go flap. That's a flap. They take their broad and limber wings and they push them down and push the wings down, and then the bird goes up. That's how the wings work. Number 5, a movable auxiliary airfoil, usually attached to an airplane wing's trailing edge to increase lift or drag. And it says to see the airplane illustration. So, yeah, I think these are, it said on the auxiliary airfoil, usually attached to the airplane's wing's trailing edge. Yeah, so the back of the wing has those flaps that can go up and down. They can control them to adjust their speed and lift and drag and those sorts of things. I'm going to be on a plane in a few days. I'm going on a work trip, and then we're going on a little personal trip, very short. So I think I'll get to record an episode tomorrow, but after tomorrow I won't get to record for almost 2 weeks. Almost 2 weeks I won't. There will be no episodes in the bank, which is why I'm recording all these extra ones up in the front. It won't affect you whatsoever. Don't worry about it. But I will forget how to do this when I come back. And so maybe when I'm on the plane, I'll get to see the flaps, and I'll say, look at those flaps. They're flapping in the wind. Number 6A is a state of excitement or agitation. The synonyms are tizzy and uproar. Well, I've been in a tizzy and an uproar before. Who hasn't? We've all been in a tizzy and an uproar. And can you say that I've been in a flap? Interesting. I don't think I've ever heard that. Oh, I'm in a flap. I'm in a state of excitement or agitation. I'm so agitated, I'm flapping around in the wind. 6B, something that generates an uproar. That is also a flap. What would that have? Well, just yesterday was the Super Bowl. We did not watch it, but I found out this morning that the Chiefs got upset. Everybody was thinking the Chiefs were going to win, but the Eagles, they flapped them, maybe with their big flappy wings. They flapped the Chiefs because they created an uproar, and now everybody today is in a flap. Number 7, a consonant characterized by a single rapid contact of the tongue or lower lip against another point in the mouth. It's called also tap, but examples of this consonant would be the sound or the letter D in ladder, the letter T in ladder again, but it's latter, like the former and the latter. And so it's a quick contact of the tongue or the lower lip onto another part in the mouth, latter. So when I say ladder, the D part or the T part, I put my tongue ladder right behind behind the front teeth on the top and the gum, right sort of where they meet. Ladder. It's just a quick little touch. The tongue and the gum teeth part, they're saying hello real quick and goodbye. It's a flap or a tap. Those were all the words. Now we got to pick one for the word of the episode because we need to know which one is the best or the worst or the funniest to say. Today we had flaneur, flange, flange, flank, flank, flunkin, flunker, flank steak, flannel, flannelette, flannel-mouthed, and flap. Well, I think it is a very funny thing to think about flannel-mouthed. That is not an English sentence whatsoever. Flannel-mouthed is just a funny thing. What else was great? The idea that there's a word for an idle man about town is kind of funny. Flaneur. That's an interesting idea. I don't fully understand what this means. I have an idea, I guess. What else? Definitely not the flank or the flank steak. We're not going to pick those. Don't care about flanges. Flaps, there's so many kinds of flaps. There's the flaps in like a doggy door. That's a flap. Any other flaps? No flaps. Let's see. I don't know. Let's pick flannel-mouthed because it's a funny idea. I'm speaking flannel-mouthed. You can't understand what I'm saying. I'm flannel-mouthed. If I had a lot of words to say right now, I would be flannel-mouthed. Yeah, that was just fine. All right, here's another movie that I watched. It's the movie Companion. This was a very interesting movie. It's a how much do I want to say? It's a futuristic sci-fi movie. That was I think you could call it a horror movie. I think it's labeled as a horror movie. But there's some comedy in there as well. And yeah, it's an interesting take on this type of thing, and I don't want to say much about it, but you might already know some stuff about it. And yes, I enjoyed it. Yes, and I think you might too, because I know you. I know what you like. Companion. Worth a watch. Go check it out. Until next time, this is Spencer dispensing information, sometimes flannel-mouthed, because sometimes he messes up his words and he gets all, it's like he's eating flannel. Goodbye.